Tonight, the real cost of the war with Iran is beginning to emerge. American troops are already dead. Billions of dollars have already been spent. And global oil prices have surged past $100 per barrel. The question now facing Washington is no longer just about the battlefield, but about how expensive this conflict could become, and whether the United States underestimated the scale of the challenge. Good evening. Welcome back to our top story. As the war between the United States, Israel, and Iran enters its early phase, a clearer picture is beginning to emerge. Not only about the fighting itself, but about the human, strategic, and financial costs already being paid by the United States. Military losses. So far, at least 7 U.S. service members have been killed following Iranian missile and drone strikes targeting American forces in the Gulf region. Iranian retaliation has also hit American military facilities and allied positions across the region, including attacks near Kuwait and Bahrain, demonstrating Iran's ability to reach U.S. bases with missiles and drones. In one chaotic moment early in the conflict, 3 U.S. F-15 fighter jets were also lost in a friendly fire incident, though the pilots survived. While these losses remain relatively small compared with previous wars, they highlight how quickly a regional conflict can begin imposing costs on American forces. The financial cost of the war. The financial cost of the war is already staggering. Defense analysts estimate the conflict is costing the United States close to $1 billion per day in operational expenses. Within the first 100 hours of combat alone, the war had already cost roughly $3.7 billion, largely due to stealth bomber missions, naval deployments, and thousands of precision munitions. Some policy analysts now estimate the total cost has already surpassed $5 billion, and that number could climb significantly if the conflict continues. And those estimates do not include long-term deployments, equipment losses, or the cost of defending U.S. bases across the region. Economic consequences beyond the battlefield. But the financial impact does not stop with military spending. The war has disrupted shipping routes in the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical oil arteries in the world. As a result, global oil prices have surged past $100 per barrel, creating fears of rising gasoline prices and renewed inflation across the global economy. In the United States, higher energy costs could soon affect everything from transportation and airline tickets to food prices and manufacturing. When oil prices rise, the economic ripple effects can spread quickly through the entire economy. Strategic uncertainty. Despite the early wave of U.S. and Israeli strikes, the broader strategic outcome of the war remains uncertain. Pentagon officials say the goal of the campaign is to weaken Iran's military capabilities and limit its ability to threaten U.S. forces and regional allies. But analysts warn that Iran's strategy, relying on missiles, drones, and regional proxy forces, could turn this into a longer and more unpredictable confrontation. Final analysis. For now, the United States still holds overwhelming military superiority. But the first phase of the war is already revealing the real cost of modern conflict. Lives lost, billions spent, energy markets shaken, and the growing risk of a wider regional war. The biggest question tonight is no longer just how this war began, but how long it may last and how much it will ultimately cost.